Hello everyone, my name is Mariam and welcome to my Cricut Design Space tutorials. Cricut did a lot of changes recently and now we are having version V7.13.105. You may notice the screen is a bit different than my previous tutorials and there are some functions you may need to do it in a different way to be able to rotate or resize or delete. So I need to cover all the changes Cricut did in the last couple of months, including the new function, the monogram. So we need to cover the text. There is new function called the text wrapping on and wrapping off and how to actually make it curved beautifully. So let's just start with the shape. And let's say I want to resize that shape. We originally, if you remember in the previous tutorials, in each shape when we selected, there are four icons on the corners. One of them was resize, one of them was rotate, one of them was locking, and one of them was delete. Now that's not anymore, and we are having a different options. So number one, when you select any object, you still click on it, but what you will find in the four corners, there is four square handles. And when you select any of them, you will notice a straight line arrow. And what you need to do is simply from any of the four corners, you need to click and drag. You can do that from any of the corners of the shape without the need to do it from one specific corner. And because the lock pad is locked on the top, so the width and height ratio are kept the same. If I wanted to play with just the width or just the height, in this case, I will click on the lock pad to open it, and that means I'm free to adjust the width or height by itself. So now I can make it a bit, stretching it to the side to make the width bigger or the height bigger. But whenever you are happy with it, please remember to do the lock pad again. If you want to rotate your shape, now we can also do it from any of the corners. So when you go to the corners, you will notice the straight line of the arrow. But if you go a little bit outside beyond that corner, you will find that the arrow change to a rounded or arced shape, and simply you click and drag in any direction you want. You can also do that by a different way. If you go to the top and you will find the angle, you can actually type the number you would like the rotation to go to that angle. So let's say I want the 90 degrees. You type the number and you hit enter. So simply the shape is going to rotate the 90 degrees. If you are not happy with this angle, you can type another angle, or you can do undo from the top arrow here, or you can click Ctrl Z on your keyboard to return it back to the first position. But when we also click and rotate from the curved, the arced arrow, you can click and hold the shift key at the same time, and you will notice the rotation is happening in sort of a specific angle, like it's snapping. I believe it's around 15 degrees snapping in this one. So basically, you still have the option of rotation, you still have the option of the resize or scaling. Now, if you wanted to lock or unlock the shape, you only have the option to do it from the top here, not from the frame surrounding the shape anymore. What about the delete? Delete, I still have several options to do it. If you select the shape, you can delete it from the layers panel, or you can right click on the shape and select delete, or you can select the shape and hit delete on your keyboard. So there are three options to do the delete. Okay, so what other functions have been added to Cricut Design Space? They added in the text an option called wrapping on and off. What does that mean? So when we click on text, you will find the word text appearing in a frame, and all what you need to do is use start typing. So I'm gonna write good morning Melbourne, hope you have a good day. And as you can see, while I'm typing, it's still going in one line. If I zoom out now, You can see my text. If I want to edit anything, you just simply double click on the text and you start typing. Let's drag that text down a bit so you can see what I'm talking about. So you can select the text, keep writing. Now, when you select the text, you will notice it has some handles on the corners. So rectangle handle. And what does this handle doing? So basically now I'm writing in one line. And when you click on the alignment, you will find that the option wrapping off is appearing and the logo next to it, it's a straight line. What we used to do, if I wanted to make hope you have a good day in a separate line, I normally come before the letter H and I do enter on my keyboard so it goes to the second line. So I am doing it manually. But the wrapping on and off will help me to do it without doing anything manually. So I double click on my text and all what I need to do, move the handle. So you see the one here, the rectangle and handle, I'm just clicking and dragging to the left and it's gradually taking it to the next line. It will go more and more and more, and that's very helpful if you are designing a sign and you want like only one word per line or one letter per line. So you can go as far as you like without any problem. And if you want to drag it back, you simply go back again to the handle and click and drag again to the right. So you will make it again in one sentence. Or while it is selected right now, I can go to alignment on the top and I do wrap off and it will make it back to one sentence. Let's zoom out and here we go. So it's one sentence again. Now, if you notice, once we do a wrapping on and it goes to the second line, you will notice that the curve function will disappear. I'm going to show you what I mean. So if I go here, you see the curve is faded, is not a valid function now. You can't curve that one. As long as it's not one line anymore, you can't curve. If we return it back by making alignment and wrapping off as one sentence, the curve function now is started to be valid again to be used. And now if I want my text to be beautifully rounded, I simply click on curve and there's a sliding bar. I move it to the right until I have a nice rounded shape. As much as you like. If you want to make it back to the straight line again, you simply either moving the sliding bar to the middle to make it straight, or you can go to that number and backspace, type number 0 and then hit enter. It will go back to straight line again. Okay, what other options Cricut has added recently? The monogram. The monogram is lovely. It's available only for Cricut Access, but there is a free trial. So basically there are different category. There is a classic category and there is thematic one. For the classic, there are different styles and they are actually very pretty. So on the top, you write the initials you would like. And let's say I'm typing MRM and it gives you imagination for the final look. And what you notice, if I am selecting category classic and the style modern, there are many options down you can select from, but also you can select the frame. Some of them they have a frame and some of them they don't. For example, this one, it gives me the frame option on the top. So you can select the style and you also select the frame. You can also click on that arrow to go to the second frame to see all the options you like. But it gives you at the very bottom of each one what operation type this can be used. So for example, that's more for typing or writing, and that one, the scissors shape, it's more for cutting. You can select the operation type from the top. Do you want to see only the cut styles, or also you want to see the cut and draw style? But some options, when you select it, like this one, for example, it doesn't give me a frame style. So as you can see here, there is none frame option. So not all of the options you have a frame to choose from. There is also elegant style, handwritten with many different options, and the vintage. With the thematic one, it actually covers some beautiful botanical one in a style. I love this one so much. Not all of them showing the three initials I choose. Some of them only selecting the first, some of them selecting the first and last. So you can play with it and try it. And as you remember, I made a tutorial, which is tutorial number 2. When you actually download fonts, the font has glyphs. You can actually in the application of the character map, selecting your glyph and copy paste to get similar sort of things if you don't have the monogram option. There is also a decorative option, which is beautiful as well. One of my favorite things is sport here. So there are many options of soccer and FL and basketball and a lot of stuff, interests. And also there is occasions, graduation, Christmas, Easter. Nice one for weddings. And interest, there is butterfly for pet lovers, music, and for nurses. So a lot of options, you can try it. Also, one of the things Cricut did in the last update, they added the ability to bookmark the favorite font. So for example, when I have my text here, if I click on font on the top, I have the Cricut Sans as a font selected, but I can search my font I prefer. And for example, if I click on system to choose the one from saved on my computer, I will choose one of my favorite, which is Samantha Upright. I got this font from Creatice Fabrica. I will add the link in the video description if you want to have a look at this one. It's amazing. And I hit enter. Now I have here a flag icon. If I don't want to search every time by typing the font name, I simply need to click on the flag and it becomes a green. Now that means it has been added to the bookmarks. So let's see. If I click on bookmarks now, I will find my favorite font, and you can add as many fonts as you want in the bookmarks. As a reminder, Cricut is only showing the fonts in Cricut, system is showing the fonts on your computer. But anything flagged or bookmarked from both of them, then it will be shown on the bookmarks. The other thing as well, as a reminder as well, if you select your font, if you want a specific language, you can click on language and let's say show me the French ones. And also as a reminder, the filters is showing a different option. The writing one, if you tick it, it will show you the best fonts, which is perfect for writing with pens. And it gives us a finishing of the single line font instead of the double line. To finalize my tutorial, I would like to tell you about some shortcuts in Cricut Design Space. They are actually, Cricut added them on their website recently and I love it. But I want to show it to you just in case if you don't know any of them. I'm sure you will be familiar with some, but I'm sure there will be a few of them at least you don't know about it, and it will help you speed the process. So for example, the first shortcut is saving. We normally to save the project, we click save, but also as you know, to save the project, you can click Ctrl S. So here the name of the project, it has asterisks on the top, which means the project is not saved. If I click now Ctrl S on my keyboard, it's gonna save the project and it will change the asterisks to make it disappear. Project saved. The other shortcut is Ctrl Z to undo. So for example, if I make this one smaller, if I change my mind, you can always click here for undo, but the shortcut is Ctrl Z, and that is undo. To redo, you can either click on that arrow to redo, or the shortcut is Ctrl Shift Z. So let's do it on my keyboard, Ctrl Shift Z. Okay. To cut an object from your screen, Ctrl X, and to paste it somewhere else, Ctrl V. and then you drag it wherever you want. If you want to copy it, then Control C and then Control V to paste it somewhere else. If you want to duplicate your object, Control D, so that will make duplication. If you want to select everything on the screen, Control A. And of course, there was an option here to select all by clicking on the top one, select all. Gives the same function, but that is a shortcut for the keyboard. If you wanted to group an item, so let's say I wanted those 3 flowers together, you can click here on group, but you can do the shortcut Control G. Now they are grouped. If you want to ungroup, then Control Shift G while they are selected. Here we go, they are ungrouped, they are not together anymore. Okay, so there is a shortcut next to all of those. So if you want to bring it to the front, Shift Control close bracket. But if you want to bring it just one layer up, bring forward, Control close bracket. So let's do it and see if it's gonna work. So Control, Shift, and close bracket. Here we go. So our little green flower went to the very top above my design. If I want to go to the back, Control Shift, open bracket. Let's try it. Control Shift and open bracket. Here we go, it went backward again. So a few things on your keyboard can speed your designing. Now, zooming, that is actually very good options. I just recently discovered it. As you know, we zoom in by the plus and we zoom out by clicking on the negative. But there is a perfect option. What about if we zoomed so much, but I want now quickly to see everything on my screen in one go. While holding Control key, click on number 1. And here you go. Everything on the screen became in front of your eyes and nothing is hidden. Okay, what about if I want to zoom on a specific little image? So let's say I'm selecting this flower and I want to zoom just there. So holding the Control key and click on number 2. Here we go. It's only showing the flower. Okay, I'm going back to the first screen. So I'm gonna hit Control, and while I'm holding it, I'll click number 1. Okay, what about panning the screen? Panning means moving everything right, left, up, and down. Instead of moving the scroll bar, the side one or the bottom one, you can hit the space bar on your keyboard and start dragging wherever you want. Top, bottom, right, or left. So that's the panning. What about a duplicate and move? So for example, if we wanted to duplicate this flower, generally we were pressing Control D. There's no issue, it's just another copy came here. But what about if I wanted to duplicate but at the same time dragging? So I will select this flower and I will do Alt in this case and drag. So the Alt make another copy on the top of the original image and then helps me while I'm clicking on the mouse to drag. Last thing, if I want to zoom in, you can hold the Control key and use the scroll wheel of your mouse going up to zoom in. If you want to zoom out, then hold the Control key and scroll the wheel of your mouse down. I hope this tutorial was useful for you. Next time, we definitely are going back to Inkscape to continue our course. We are going to do the stars and the polygons and do a simple, nice monograms. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching and see you in next tutorial.